the things that don't come naturally, you have to work at. And so when I'm working at things that I don't enjoy or I'm not good at, I know I got to work that much harder. And so when I am going through things and determining decision making and things like that, when it comes to doing projects, coming on onboarding things, I look at it and I go, okay, am I not good at this, or do I not understand this because I've never attempted to? And then can I attempt to learn and then do it? Or is it something that I just am not good at, don't understand, and just never will be gifted at? Hey guys, welcome back to the Back Pocket Creative. I appreciate you watching, listening, sharing, whatever you do. I appreciate the world of it. It means a lot to me, especially with this podcast continuing on and just seeing people support it and let me know how much it's impacting them this way or that way. It means a lot. So this week, I want to talk about something that me and Lance talk about on the upcoming CA podcast, so the one that releases after this podcast on Monday. We talked a little bit about like decision making and things like that. And so for me, especially as a creative, a lot of times, and this kind of goes in the just general decision making, but as a creative, a lot of times, I'm having to decide what projects I tackle, right? So there's things where, I know that I'm good at things, I know that I'm bad at things, and so I have to decide, well, a lot of times, like, what do I like to tackle first? What do I like to tackle second? What am I just going to leave alone and decline? And what I mean by that is like saying, okay, client comes and they ask, okay, hey, can you do this? I know whether or not I can say yes or no to it. And a lot of times, the dotted line of money can influence a lot of times what I say, but there's sometimes where I got to realize that, I may not be best suited for that. So I have to learn how to turn things down. And so that's something I've been working on a little bit now. But recently, I've been kind of in the mindset too, when it comes to opportunity, is just saying, okay, if an opportunity comes to me, right, and I know that I probably am not going to take it, probably not going to really go dive into it, or it's not something that's good for now, I'll never outright say no, because one thing I've learned is when you say no, you limit everything on the back end. So anything that could have happened, anything that could have transpired, it's not going to happen. And so there's a lot of times I'll entertain things, not because necessarily I say, okay, I'm going to do it, but maybe I entertain things out of friendship. Maybe I'll entertain things just out of a working relationship with somebody and see where it goes. It's like, hey, you know what? Maybe I will do this. Maybe I will go there. Maybe I will, do this project. But at the same time, I kind of am where I'm learning my limitations and then saying, okay, I'm not going to let it be dictated by money, right? In the sense of I'm not going to go do something and be bad at it, and just because it's a good paycheck, So that's something I've had to really start learning is like, because I get requests to do things all the time, and I'm like, yeah, I'm not good at that. So like, I don't want to do that because I don't want to short that person. I don't want to short myself. But then where I start checking myself is, where is it that I am feeling like I'm bad at something or I'm not good at something and I could get better at it? I just have to give the effort. And I kind of took this in the last episode, but like, I'm looking at things and saying, well, how can I improve on this thing? And, the things that don't come naturally, you have to work at. And so when I'm working at things that I don't enjoy or I'm not good at, I know I got to work that much harder. And so when I am going through things and determining decision making and things like that, when it comes to doing projects, coming on onboarding things, I look at it and I go, okay, am I not good at this, or do I not understand this because I've never attempted to? And then can I attempt to learn and then do it? Or is it something that I just am not good at, don't understand, and just never will be gifted at? And so one kind of story when I've dealt with this at a job was, I was being asked to do some motion graphic stuff, right? And it wasn't just like, oh, grab a template, do this. It was like actually motion graphic. It was like, there's no way I can do that. And so I made it very clear, like, I can't do this. And then, oh, well, why can't you? It's the same thing as this, that, or the other. And it's just not, people don't understand a lot of times that certain things, specialties, are different than other specialties. A lot of people lump things all the way in. Oh, a video project is a video project. If you can edit a video, you can do motion graphics. And actually, that's two separate things. And so I had to be, because I got insecure with that, oh, well, I can't do this like other video editors can. And then I realized, like, oh no, there's a difference in motion graphics and there's a difference in editing. And, so now I can dabble, and I once again learned a little bit, but I can't build something from scratch. I still have to use templates or, shells of templates or things like that. And so one thing I learned though is I was putting my, I guess you could call it self-worth, but also confidence in the things that I couldn't do. And then I was trying to figure out, like, oh, I could do them, I could do them, I could do this, and I keep failing at it. I realized, like, okay, this is something I'm not capable of actually doing, mainly because other things that I'm doing is super time consuming and things like that. And motion graphics and learning that, it is time consuming. It is time consuming to learn how to do that type of stuff. And so for me personally, I realized, like, I'm not going to take motion graphic jobs. I'm not going to do motion capture stuff. Like, it's just that's not me. And so, but I'm good at other things, and there's other things that I can learn that I don't know currently, and I can implement them and things like that. But that's something, and kind of an example of what I'm talking about, where I'm not going to take that because I know I really, not that I can't learn it, I'm just not good at it. And so I'd rather pass it off, give it to someone that's good at it, because what benefit does it for me to take that job, try to kind of, half behind it, and then go, it's not that good, hand it to the client, have a problem, them have to go somewhere else. Like, what's the issue with that? But then there's some things where it's like, there's jobs that I'll get a call on, and it's like, it's a self-confidence issue of why I don't want to take it. And so then I have to work with myself and go, okay, no, you're good at this stuff. If you need to refresh, go through, retrain yourself on things. And then the other thing is, though, because the mindset I always have is I'll say yes to everything. And that was been my mindset for a while. And while I think when I was learning and kind of growing, not that I'm not learning and growing now, but when I was in kind of an earlier state, I would constantly say yes to stuff. And if I couldn't figure out, I would just outsource it. So I would just, yep, I'll do it, and then outsource it. Yep, I'll do it and outsource it. And while that's good and all, my mental capacity is not worth the risk and the elongated problems that come with that. And so I've now learned to say no. But what I'm trying to do is make sure that the reason I say no is based in my ability, and then I can't physically do it, versus confidence, if that makes sense. So that's it for the episode, and I appreciate you joining. I'll see you next week.